On behalf of Perupetro, allow me to extend a warm welcome to you. Let me introduce myself. My name is Josue Sanchez. I'm a geologist. I'm delighted to be here today to talk to you about this presentation. We call it Hydrocarbon Potential in Madre de Dios Basin. First of all, we have to try to locate into this area. Madre de Dios Basin is located in the southeast of Peru. As many as you know before, Madre de Dios Basin is a foreland basin of extension, the sub-Andean foreland area, which extends north into the northern of Peru, and in the south is in Bolivia. Madre de Dios has a prospective area around 43,000 square kilometers and some 5,000 meters of sedimentary infill. The basin extends 4,030 kilometers in length southeast from the Ucayali Basin to the Bolivia border. Also, we have to say that this basin includes a complex area which is located in the southwest, in which we can locate the fault thrust belt we have outgroups of Paleozoic, Cretaceous, and Tertiary age on the south of this basin. And in the other part, we have a lot of foreland area in which is covered by quaternary alluvial deposits. Next, this is a map in which you can see all the exploratory efforts that will be done in Madre de Dios Basin. This exploratory effort in the Madre de Dios dates to the 70s, in which in the 1974, City Service and Andean Petroleum, which is one of the first companies that have been working in this area, acquired approximately 2,800 kilometers of 2D seismic in this part of Peru. As part of the commitment in this area, City Service drilled 3 wells, and Andes drilled 2 wells. Los Amigos, Carillacu, Pariamanu, Puerto Primo, and Carene are some wells that it is located in the middle of this basin. The wells were drilling on Paleozoic paleostructures and also in Cretaceous structures. With some cases was also monoclinal dips, some with absence of structural closure. Although there were shows in several lower Paleozoic reservoir sections, but we have to say that the wells was not considered for a commercial development. You can see that only Carillacu, Puerto Primo, and Pariamanu, which are located in the middle of the basin, has shows of gas. Carene, which one is one of these wells drilled by Peru City Service, has, due to the geological stress that is located in this basin, was difficult to continue working. More later about the exploratory effort in this area is, for example, the work that Mobile, the company, did in this area. Mobile drilled 5 slim holes wells in the Bolivia extension of Madre de Dios Basin. One of these wells was Pando, which was a discovery. This well identified the Devonian section in this area as a world-class source rock. This section was thought to extend into Peru, but the basin boundaries at that time were unknown. Well, next The Candamo, which is located in this position in the southeast of the graphic, was drilled and discovered gas and condensate within the Cretaceous and Permian sandstone reservoirs. It was the first wildcat well to penetrate pre-Tertiary objectives with the unexplored fault and thrust belt of the southward portion of Madre de Dios Basin. The well has a gross hydrocarbon column approximately 1,700 feet. Porosities and permeabilities in Candamo well show porosities from 6 to 7 and 1.5 for millidarcies, about talking about permeability. Then one of the most important project that is presented in this located is the Dawene, was the last drilled well in this area. The well was drilled into the program, however did not reach the planned objectives. It only reached the tertiary level in the Yaguarango formation. During the drilling, there are a lot of loss of mud during the penetration of the formations. But at this point was the last effort that the company did in this area. As I said before, there are seismic data acquired by a city service company in the 70s. Around 1,730 kilometers was acquired in the 18s. Next, it was Mobile, which acquired some surveys in this area, but we have to talk that there is a last effort doing to acquire seismic data in this basin. In this part, in the southeast near to Bolivia, the company SAPET in 2008 acquired seismic data, and in this part, Hunt acquired data in 2010. Well, we have next to talk about the stratigraphy and the petroleum system of this block. Sediments of Paleozoic, Mesozoic, and Cenozoic overlying a crystal basement in Madre de Dios Basin. The fault thrust belt area constants and stratigraphic similar to the described in the Camisea area. If you more know about this field, is one of the most biggest fields that we have in Peru. Well, talking about the foreland, the extent of this late Permian and early Cretaceous sequence need an additional investigation that we are continue pursuing to continue working in this part. This basin has several reservoir rocks, such as you can see in the column, Ambo, Lower, Upper Nia, Lower Chonta, and also Vivian has a good quality that we can show next. Talking about the geochemical studies doing in this basin, recognize significant petroleum source rock that have been generated hydrocarbons. The Cretaceous that for the Cretaceous and Permian reservoirs. This area are the Devonian Cabanillas, the Carboniferous Ambo, and the Permian N formation. You can see all these petroleum system charts in the right hand to continue working in that area. The tectonic evolution of this basin is very complex. Actual basin configuration is the result of tectonic activity occurred of what is now we know such as the fault thrust belt in the western and southwest margin, and we have a foreland in in the right, with the stable Brazilian shield lying inland. The Paleozoic is characterized by compressing due to the continental and continent interaction in Peru, Bolivia, and northern Chile, whereas ocean-continent interaction occur in the central and southern Chile with the development of substantial accretion prism. In this picture, you can see four seismic composite seismic lines in which we identify all these complex structural evolution that I mentioned. Well, we have to continue working about the available areas for exploration. You can see these blocks in which we are located all the structures. To summarize this presentation, let me share with you that we put here the number of wells, the exploratory wells. There are only 7 exploratory wells in which you can see 7 of them present a show of gas, and only 1 is a discovery, talking about Candamo. The summarize of the structure that we found in this basin, they talk about 5 prospect, 21 leads, and 6 plays. All the amount of prospective resources is relating to 18 TCF, which we can find in this basin. Well, we are divided the presentation into 2 parts. One, which could be the most important area, which is the fault thrust belt, and the second part that will be the foreland. Well, in this part we have only 3 exploratory wells, as I mentioned. Mobile drilled Candamo, which is one of the discoveries here in this area. We have contingent resources for this structure because we are considered this like a field. In the foreland part of the basin, we have 5 prospects and 17 leads and 3 plays. The sum of these resources, of these prospective resources, is around 18 TCF. We have to mention that we made a probabilistic estimation. We show the mean, and also we have to say that the quantity of this, the volume, are unrisked. Well, in Madre de Dios Basin, all the prospects are 5 prospects. The one is Azul Mayo, it's located in this area, Chaspa, Tabari Oeste, Loro Mayo, and B6 is the name of the one that is this area in the northwest of the foreland basin. As I mentioned before, Candamo, which is in orange, we are considered as a field because the well proved existence of petroleum, and there is cataloged as contingent resources. But I have to say that this structure have also a prospective formation for Vivian, which could be one of the most prospective reservoirs in this basin. Well, we have to start with Azul Mayo prospect. As you can see, it's located near to Candamo area, approximately 32 kilometers. It was in a northwest and southwest orientation. At this we have defined this structure by 2 seismic lines of regular quality. Mobile acquired this information. We show on the left one interpretation of these lines. It consists, as you can see, of anticlinal anticlinal with four-way closure, structurally located in the duplex wedge of the sub-Andean folded and running belt, limiting its front part by a passive roof, like a triangular area. Well, Azul Mayo, as I mentioned, is a prospect. There are formations that show prospectivity. There are lower Chonta, upper Nia, and lower Nia, with an area of around 6,000 acres. And the quantity of prospective resources for this prospect is around 726 BCF. Talking about LGN, we are around 11 millions barrels of oil. Continue with the prospect. We have now talked about Chaspa, which is located to the north of the area of Candamo, approximately 18 kilometers to the northwest of the Candamo well. These structures present a northwest and southeast orientation and is defined by two seismic lag of regular quality. Also, seismic lag acquired by a mobile company in 1996. Well, it consists of an anticlinal with a four-way closure also, structurally located in the duplex wedge of the sub-Andean folded, limited to its front part of the Pacific, like a triangular zone also. Well, talking about Chaspa, we have a prospective resources gas around 1,000 BCF. Loromayo prospect is located in the north of the Candamo area, approximately 32 kilometers from Candamo well. Have an orientation also northwest-southeast orientation. It's the most representative orientation in this area. It consists of anticlinal, as you can see in the seismic line interpretation on the left, structurally located in the duplex wedge of the sub-Andean fault thrust belt. Well, BC is most of the one attractive structures for Candamo area because Dawene, which is the last well, was the last well drilled in this area, didn't have the opportunity to prove this structure because the well was only drilled Jaguarango formation and didn't drilled all the prognosis, all the planning structures, formations. This BC prospect has a modest, you can see, has a modest four-way anticlinal closure, approximately 29 square kilometers, with significant potential additional foreclosure in this area. Well, we have more studies for this well, for this structure, because after the drill of Dawene, the seismic interpretation was changed, and we have now a good structure, well, I guess a good see of what is what we can see in the seismic lines. In an effort to confirm this structure, we have to continue working in this area. That's personally, this is one of the most prospective area in this zone. Well, we have to continue with the leads. Well, Madre de Dios Basin clearly is an area with a significant potential of hydrocarbon accumulation. There exist, for example, in this part, at least 70 leads located in the fault thrust belt. These leads can be these leads can be upgraded through acquisition of the additional detail seismic to confirm the closure of this seismic. It's also mentioned. It's also good to mention in this part that we are looking to keep to having more MT projects, talking about magnetotelluric, in which we can invest more efforts in trying to get more information and try to get the best quality. I'm talking about geophysical data to have a better signal in this area. Well, as I mentioned before, we also describe three places because we don't have enough seismic information to define the closure of this area. The one is Pini Pini, the second is Head North, and the third is Head South. Uh, all this is a trap play. As you can see, Pini Pini have a 3 and 4-way closures. Head North have a anticlinal in 3-way closures, and Head South has anticlinal in 4-way closure. But we also need to get more information, more seismic information, or more MT projects to design if this place can be upgraded to be leads in the future. Well, this is one of our last slides. Uh, we have to mention that Madre de Dios is in the jungle of Peru, and there are a lot of national parks with represent intangible areas. In this part, we have all these three prospects which are out of these intangible areas. There are B6, Loromayo, and Chaspa, and all these leads are located outside these intangible areas, which represents around 10 TCF. Well, sir, thank you very much for your time. It was a pleasure to be here to talk to you. We are continue with other presentation. Thank you.